everybody, and welcome back to Retro Gaming Revisited. Today we have Theme Hospital, very much a classic and favourite of mine. It comes from the Theme series, which would be Theme Park, Theme Hospital, Theme Park World, and so on and so forth. This was the second instalment in their games produced by Bullfrog, who I don't believe are in business anymore, but maybe Wikipedia can clear that up. So the predecessor to this was Theme Park. Definitely one of my favourite games of all time. I could still play it today and not be bored. The general crux of the game is, as the name would suggest, you build a theme park, but it was more in depth than that. You had to buy stock for the shops, trade stocks and shares with other players, players being the AI. You had to actually build the park, so you had to put the rides down, you had to hire staff, you had to place amenities like toilets and signposts, and generally just place shops and all other kinds of things. So it was quite an in-depth game for its time. That's what really catapulted it up there with games that would pave the way for games like this. So you could also play it in sandbox mode, where you didn't actually have to do the stocks and shares. You didn't have to buy stock for the restaurants and shops. You could just play, just literally placing the staff, placing the rides and the shops, and just play that way. I always felt it was more fun to do everything, like a full management game. So this is much more the same. You're a hospital administrator. You're given various buildings, and you need to build a hospital. You have to hire staff, and you have to build rooms and treatment clinics, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to jump straight in to the main campaign. Oh, by the way, I must mention we're playing the Core 6 version because after Windows XP, Theme Hospital did not work properly on other version of Windows. What would happen is it would just crash to desktop every time when it tried to load the game in. That was partly due to the graphical limitation. Even if you try it in compatibility mode, it didn't work. So Core 6 took the engine and they fixed all the bugs, and they made it work in a way that works on Windows XP, Vista 7 and 10. They've only just released a new update, so I'm playing a slightly older version, but the game is still the same. Nothing changes there. You can download it from their website. All you've got to do is Google Core 6TH. So thanks for that, guys, because you've made a classic playable again. So we're going to jump right in to the game. So here we are. Welcome to your first hospital. Get the place up and running by building a reception desk, GP office, and hiring a receptionist and a doctor. Then wait for some business to come along. Good idea to build a psychiatry department and hire a doctor with psychiatric qualifications. A pharmacy and nurse are also essential for curing your patients. Watch out for rogue cases of bloating head. An inflation room will need to be sort these out. You will be looking to cure 10 people and make sure your reputation doesn't drop below 200. Now, being the simulator game, time, as you can see, we're dropping days while I'm reading this, but it's a simulator game where your performance is monitored. So, right, let's close the information dialog. This is a trick that I used to use. So you go to the slowest speed, so now time moves at its absolute slowest, and we can start building our hospital. So we're going to build a GP's office. I always like to put them by the front doors. Now, the size of the room will depend on how tired and unhappy your staff become. So you get to place your door and your windows. When you're happy with that, you click confirm. Now, before we place anything, I always like to have a fire extinguisher, an extra radiator, plant and a bin. It's all about keeping the staff motivated and keeping them happy, giving them a nice office. The fire extinguishers, if you have one in every room and a couple dotted about the hospital, whenever a VIP comes to visit, they will give you extra points for having fire extinguishers and just generally being safe. That will probably come later. So as you can see, GP's office, fundamental diagnosis room in the hospital, new patients sent here to find out what's wrong with them. They are then sent for further diagnosis, blah 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 blah. So it requires a doctor, obviously. So go to the staff register. Now, this is where you can choose your doctor. This is the level of competence of doctor. So, junior, senior, junior, doctor, or consultant. Obviously, you'd prefer to have consultants for this. But down here gives you a brief description of their personality. So, enrages insects with deodorant spray, slow and fussy. We don't want that. Collects well-watered shrapnel. Generally well motivated and dedicated. That will do just fine. Plop him in the room. Now we need to get a reception desk before we forget all about the hallway. It's always good to get some benches for people to sit on as well. Drinks machine for refreshments, like I said, a fire extinguisher, a radiator and planks. We don't want our patients getting cold. So let's put the desk there and put some chairs outside their office. Drinks machine there. Fire extinguisher, can just put it anywhere really, doesn't really matter. And a radiator there. Okay, so now we need to hire a receptionist, same as before. So this one, she's not very good, listens to rave and trip hop music, slow and fussy, not interested. Foolish risk taker who couldn't care less, goes scuba diving, don't want that. Smuggles fake watches but dedicated to helping people with a smile. Well, we don't discriminate at this hospital, criminal record or not. So that's our receptionist, and she will stay there and she will never move. A bit like a normal receptionist. So, we've got general diagnosis. Now, this is another diagnosis room. If a doctor in the GP office cannot figure out what is wrong with this patient, he will send them here. Again, like I said, having a larger room stops the doctors and everyone from being upset and generally quite sad. Oh yeah, and also being tired, of course, because they will get fatigued and they will want to just walk out while someone's waiting to be seen. As you say, general diagnosis, patients who require further diagnosis are sent to be checked here. If a GP's office doesn't work out, or doesn't find out what is wrong with them, general diagnosis often will. So that's fine. Need another doctor. Arrogant and cocky, worships daytime television. Nope. Nope. Careful and dependable in an emergency. That's what we want. Now, there are cheats for this game, and I'm going to try my best not to use it, because for the first level, I don't need to use it, I know that for sure. It's only after, I think, level 4 that you really do need to have your, to have money cheat. Some rooms come with extras, like the psychiatric room comes with a bookcase and a skeleton. Used for training purposes and Halloween, reference material for doctors. I'm not 100% sure if that actually does have any effect on if you are able to diagnose the patient properly. I'd like to think it does, otherwise I'm just spending money for no reason. Psychiatry. Patients diagnosed with psychiatric illness must visit the psychiatry department to receive counselling. Psychiatrists can also make diagnosis, finding out what type of illnesses patients have, and if mental in origin, treating them using the trusty couch. That's one thing I did like about this game as well, was that everything was a little bit tongue-in-cheek. I mean, it was semi-serious because, mental illnesses are not something to be laughed at. But, this was a little bit tongue-in-cheek. It wasn't having a laugh at it, saying like, oh, look at these idiots or these people that are, desperate for help. It was more of a case of, well, we know that, mental illness exists, we're aware of it, but we're just having a little bit of fun. So this is a ward, it has to have a nurse in it. This is for, I believe, for further treatment. I'm sure it will tell me again soon. I always try and get lots of beds, as many beds as I can fit into a ward. But I know that this level will be fairly short. I don't need a desk. I've already got one. Sit. Put the bin over there. Doesn't really matter where you put things, just as long as they're in. Okay, so patients are kept here for observation by nurse during diagnosis. So during the course of diagnosis, they will stay here. They remain here prior to having an operation. Well, that comes later. So not bothered about the job, bone idle. Okay. I wish it was careful and dependent on an emergency. That's the one we want. Now, officially I could open the hospital, and I think I will. So we'll go back to the normal speed, and we'll open the hospital. I can keep building while people are coming in. We need a pharmacy. This is to, I would imagine, to treat. Oh, well, I'll tell you in a minute. So you've got your pharmacy cabinet, fire extinguisher ready, your plant bin. There you go. So patients who have been diagnosed and whose treatment is a drug must visit the pharmacy to take their medicine. As more and more drug cures are researched and become available, this room gets busier. You may want to build another pharmacy later. That's actually a good point. I don't think I ever read that bit. Yep, that's the one. And of course, as you can imagine, the more good at their job that the staff are, the more it costs to hire them. I always build a staff room just out of the way over here, because they will need somewhere to rest. I always build 2 sofas, a pool table and a TV. Happy staff are happy patients. Well, more like happy staff equal happy patients. A TV here, plants, radiators. That's it. There we go. Carry out the jobs, require room to relax, refresh themselves. Tired staff slow down, demand more money, or will eventually quit. They can do that, and from previous playthroughs they have done it before. And toilets. Nope, can't go there. No problem. I've got so much room in this hospital. Let's see, toilets. I'll put them over here. You'd be surprised if the patients do use the toilets, because mine aren't rank. Well, they won't be. There you go. Okay, and inflation clinic. This is to treat, in my opinion, one of the funniest fake diseases in this game, and the way they do it is fantastic as well. Hopefully, by the time you get to the end of the video, we'll be able to show you what exactly happens to these poor guys. So, patients with a painful yet humorous condition of bloating head must come to the inflation clinic. Blah 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 blah. So, right, I don't have any patients yet, that's because I've only just opened recently. Let's see. I'm going to save the game here. Right, so you can check on your staff from here. Morale's quite high. I suppose I should. I forgot to hire a few handymen. None of these handymen are any good. Drinks wine, rude and abrasive. Drives rally cars slow and fussy. Rearranges furniture, twisted and resentful. I would think I will wait. Well, that chap's just turned up and vomited all over my fucking floor. I will have to wait for the end of the month before the staff that are available to be hired get rolled over. Thanks, buddy, for puking all over my fucking floor. I suppose I better hire another doctor.
Patients are asked to wait quietly.
Right, 1st of April, and then we have 5. incredibly talented and able. You'll do, and you can prioritise what they will do. So I've set the 2 handymen I've just hired, one to do the plants, and another to do, well, to do the sick. As you can imagine, this is probably one of the gentlemen with bloaty head. I don't believe any of the female characters ever get bloaty head. I don't think they have. Your team has discovered a new condition. It is bloaty head, cause sniffing cheese and drinking unpurified rainwater. Symptoms very uncomfortable for the sufferer. Cure: the swollen head is popped, then reinflated to the correct PSI using a clever machine. I would imagine that's where he's on his way to now. There's lots of other quite fun illnesses in the game. I mean, illness is never something to laugh about. However, like I said, this game does it in a cute way, and you don't feel too bad for laughing. There you go. A few of them are when they think they're Elvis, which is actually a serious was a serious problem for a while in the mid 60s, 70s in America, and especially after Elvis had died as well. Oh, I'm trying to think what else there is. Invisibility, the squits. I'll let you guess what that one is. And then there's plenty more. But to thrash out through the game and to see what other ones there are would take hours. So your team has discovered new condition is heat piles, caused standing around by water coolers. Simpsons Patient feels like he or she is sitting on a bag of marbles. A pleasant yet powerfully acidic drink dissolves the past from inside. I wish that was true. Not that I've ever had piles, but I've heard it's very uncomfortable, and they don't have that sort of treatment to fix the problem. Well, like I said, this game could go on forever to wait and find all of the illnesses and to show you all of them, so I'm just going to save my game because I might carry on later on. And I'm going to end it there. So thanks very much for tuning in for this one. That was Theme Hospital. If you can get hold of it, please give it a go. It is a lot of fun. It's got very cute humour in it, and like I said, it's just brilliant. It's an all round brilliant game, and lots of people remember playing it when they were younger. So give it a go if you can. Core 6TH is the version that will help you to get a version running on XP, Vista 7 and 10. But you will need a copy of the actual game itself, the original game, because Core 6TH does not have all of the files. What it does is it uses your old installation of the game to copy the files that it needs to update so that you can play it. So they're not doing anything illegal. They're not providing you with a free game. What they're doing is they're saying, well, you've got the original game. All we're doing is patching it to make it work on new systems. So that's that. Thanks for joining us. If you enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button below. There's plenty more where this came from, and we'll catch you on the flip side.